In this video, I will be going over how to create a retro-styled first-person weapon sprite similar to Doom and Duke Nukem 3D. You'll need the following: Photoshop or a similar photo editing program, a camera, and something you want to photograph. I forgot to get it. Now, before we begin, let's take a quick look at what developers in the 90s did to capture their weapon sprites. As you can see here in these photos, the Doom pistol was originally a toy gun that was painted black and photographed. In fact, almost all the guns in Doom are photographs. Similarly, the shotgun in Duke Nukem 3D is also a photograph. Well, now we know it's a photograph, but, well, how do we do it? How do we go from a raw photograph to the final sprite? Well, let's start off by taking a photo. Here, I'm just using a webcam with Windows' built-in camera app. It helps to have a solid background, as it'll make it easier to remove later in the process. Well, now we have our photo, so let's import it into Photoshop. First off, I'm going to downscale the image and flip it. The resolution I like to use for this kind of stuff is 320 by 240. Next, I'm going to remove the hand and the gun from the background. This is a long and boring process, so I'm just going to speed it up. I'm using magenta as a background color, as it makes stray pixels easier to spot. And right now, I'm just going through and cleaning up the edges. Photoshop's magic wand tool is okay at removing the background, but it leaves these edges that kind of look ugly, so it's best to go in manually and clean it up. I'm just using the polygon lasso tool and just circling around the edge. As you can see here on the pistol, it also left a bunch of stray white pixels as well. Sometimes you can't fix these with just the polygon lasso tool, so you have to select them individually. Now I'm going to separate the gun and the hand so I can process them each separately. Now it's time to work on the hand. I'll paste it into a separate Photoshop document to make it easier to work on. There's a lot of fiddling around with brightness and contrast to make it look good. For this project, I've decided to use the Duke Nukem 3D color palette. I'm also using Photoshop's Colorize tool in the hue saturation option to try and get a good hand tone. Since a lot of these captures were done with cameras that had bad color output, the artists usually went in and redid the colors of things by hand. Now it's time to work on the pistol. I've once again pasted it into a separate Photoshop document. As you can see in the original photo, the pistol was originally green. I've decided to desaturate it and turn it grey. I'm going to speed it up here. It's a lot of fiddling with brightness and contrast, as well as using the dodge and burn tools in Photoshop to add highlights and lowlights, as I call them. I'm not sure what the proper term is. I feel like some artists will probably kill me for using the term lowlights, but oh well. I'm zooming out a lot, because when looking at a sprite this small, it usually gets a bit weird and abstract, and zooming out is a good way to kind of refocus. I'm just putting little bright bits on part of the pistol that I think would stick out, and just making things like shadows and like divots and stuff. And now I've just pasted it back into the document, and just checking how it looks. You can see here that there are some bright pixels. I'm just using Photoshop's burn tool to get rid of them. And now I'm just palletizing one more time, and then that's the final product. From this toy gun to this sprite, that's how you do it. And this process can be easily repeated. I used it to make this small animation of soup. Thanks for watching. That's it. Bye.